baby! Let's go!
All right, YouTube, what is going on? It is Zaya here from Zaya and the Steelers, and welcome back to another episode of Zaya and the Steelers. Now, this is the last episode that we are doing without regular season football. By this time next week, we will be into the regular season, and it'll be a post-game reaction to the San Francisco 49ers versus the Steelers. Before we get started with the whole episode, if you are a Steelers fan or just an NFL fan in general, and you would like to see some content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. The channel is growing. I believe we're at 119 subscribers right now, so we've really been growing. We hit our goal of 100 before the season. Let's go 500 in the next week. Can we get to 500 in the next week? I'm putting that on y'all. But yeah, so in this episode, we're going to be talking about the 49ers game upcoming, and then I'm going to be getting into some comments because to the lowest of keys, guys, to the lowest of keys, there's a bunch of comments that really I feel like deserve a vocal response. I try to like type and respond to them, but I don't know. I feel like I always get kind of misquoted or whatever. So I like actually, responding with the voice. And then lastly is kind of a special thing. As you can tell by the fantasy draft practices, this won't get off my screen. As you can tell by the fantasy draft practice, I am in a couple of different fantasy leagues that have spanned over the past couple of years. And this season, in one of the leagues, I want to kind of follow that league throughout the whole season. And I'm going to do it on this channel. And so it won't be, of course, totally Steelers based. I'll have players from a bunch of different teams. But I wanted to do a mock draft, just kind of practice. And you guys, if you guys are doing fantasy football this year, maybe you can get some ideas. I don't know. I'm not really the best player, but I think it's fun. And shout out to fantasy football. So that is what we're going to be talking about in this episode. As I've stated, we are so close to the regular season. We are so close you can taste it. This Thursday is some football. Also, shout out, happy Labor Day when you guys are seeing this. Big no work day. So we're just living. We're up right now. So let's get into it. The 49ers, as we know, last season was definitely a ride for the 49ers. So going into the season last season, I believe Trey Lance was either a rookie or coming into his second year. And Jimmy G, I believe they ended up getting rid of in the beginning of the season. Yeah, so Jimmy G he was kind of on the outs at the beginning of the season last year. Trey Lance, the guy they took with 10 first-round picks, was kind of the guy coming up. And then they had this guy named Brock Purdy, who no one was really talking about, I don't think, at least preseason-wise. No one was really talking about. But because of the consistent failures / price tag they paid to get Trey Lance, they had to do something with Jimmy G. And so they let go of Jimmy G last year. Trey Lance comes in, and then Trey Lance gets hurt. He gets hurt, and Brock Purdy, from then on, Brock Purdy comes in and he does this thing. And now here we are the following season later, and Brock Purdy is now the sole starter of the San Francisco 49ers. If we look right here, I want to look at, just all of his stats. Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy, rookie of the year, best rookie quarterback, 7th round pick, best rookie quarterback on the loaded 49ers, best rookie quarterback. If we look at Brock Purdy's numbers, he had a pretty good season, 9 games played, 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Absolutely smokes Kenny's touchdown interception ratio. Also got a 107 rating and then 67.5 QBR. Not really sure what to make of these numbers. However, I'm sure if I looked at Kenny's, I'm sure they're better than Kenny's given the position Brock Purdy's been put in. But now this season, especially this game, 23 years old. Isn't it crazy? This is a random fact. I'm like literally as old as these guys. Like, isn't this crazy? I don't know if you guys have gone through this like growing up, but like I'm like literally older than NFL players now. Isn't that nuts? But going into it, the talking points is going to be Brock Purdy versus Kenny Pickett. At least for me, Brock Purdy versus Kenny Pickett. Who really is the best quarterback from this draft? We know Kenny Pickett was the first one taken, but he wasn't taken all the way until pick 20, which to me is a little, a little sus, a little man. Like Pitt finally gets a quarterback prospect after Dan Marino, and now he has to go 20th, even though quarterbacks always go top 5. All of a sudden Kenny Pickett gets in the draft, and all of a sudden we can't take a quarterback. So that in itself is a little annoying. But then when you take into account that there were the Malik Willises, there was the Matt Corrals, there was the Sam Howell, who Sam Howell is like the last remaining guy from this class with Kenny, Purdy, and Howell. I think those three are like the all right, maybe these guys can be something, tier. Maybe Brock and Kenny a bit higher than Sam Howell, just off the experience, shout out. But they're like all in the same 3 tier. And then Below them is like Matt Corral, Malik Willis, Desmond Ritter, maybe maybe Desmond Ritter even gets moved up. I forgot about him, but I think as far as like the still starting quarterbacks, as far as the quarterbacks, hey, maybe we're not going to draft a quarterback next year. It's still Brock, it's still Kenny, and then maybe Sam Howell, maybe Desmond Ritter, kind of in between the still there and like, yeah, we're getting a new quarterback, part of it, because Desmond is still kind of the starter in Atlanta. However, I don't know how that's going to go, so it is what it is. But then below that, it's Malik, it's Matt Corral, it's everybody else, and then those guys, they're kind of falling off, and I get it. I get why everybody had to be sus about the quarterbacks, given that most of them have dropped off, given that Brock Purdy, the 7th pick, 262 overall, is the guy from this draft. So, maybe you wait for a quarterback, but Kenny Pickett is a dog. Pitt is 1-0 this season, by the way. Pitt just, absolutely smoked Wofford. So, Kenny Pickett is a dog. Pitt is dogs. And I don't know. You should have took Kenny Pickett higher. The whole NFL should have took Kenny Pickett higher. Thank you for not, because I guess, now he's a Steeler. But that's always rubbed me the wrong way. Once again, we've seen a ton of ass quarterbacks get taken top 5, and no one blinked. They'll just take a quarterback next year. Kenny Pickett gets in there, and all of a sudden we gotta wait to draft quarterbacks. Whatever. Brock Purdy on a loaded team, on a loaded roster, a roster that Sam Darnold maybe has even thrived in, as they say. An offense where Jimmy G was able to get to 4 fucking NFC championships and a few Super Bowls, but not win one. An offense where Trey Lance even, maybe had some success. I don't know. But, the 49ers have been a solid team for a while. And Brock Purdy, they just insert him in there. And he does good. And now he's the quarterback. He's the guy from this class. So all of that to say, all of the history I just gave you guys, all of the prerequisites I just gave you guys, is all to set up Brock Purdy versus Kenny Pickett. Second year quarterback. I don't know why I keep saying rookie, but you know what I mean. Second year quarterback versus second year quarterback. 2022 draft class versus 2022 draft class. That is what the talk is about. Now, of course, as I've mentioned, the 49ers, they have a loaded roster, which has led to Brock Purdy's, early success. Maybe you flip him out. Maybe Kenny Pickett can accomplish the same things. Maybe he can't. Who knows? But as of right now, I think Brock Purdy has the easier job to do or whatever. But with that said, I believe the Steelers are a way better team than we were last year, especially when Kenny first got in there. We're running the ball way better than when Kenny first came in. We're running the ball way better than that. Our weapons, George Pickens, Deontay, I think they're going to be solid. Muth is going to be solid. We're getting Calvin Austin here. We're getting a few people back. Jalen Warren getting more snaps. I think we're maybe closing the gap between us and the 49ers. However, I think right at this moment in time, I think the 49ers got us a little bit in terms of like overall roster. So it is what it is. I want to look at their actual roster because I do want to talk about some players on the 49ers. So as you see, Brock Purdy, the quarterback, Sam Darnold, QB2, Sam Darnold beating out Trey Lance. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think Trey Lance is actually going to work out? Do you think it's going to work out in Dallas, or is it going to be just, he flopped and he's not that good? Because the 49ers, man, they traded 3 firsts, they traded every second, they traded everything to get this guy when they already had Jimmy G, and it didn't work out. So what do you guys think of Trey Lance? I'm sorry. Next, though, Christian McCaffrey, we know about him. Elijah Mitchell, also someone who, at least fantasy-wise, is all right. He's a piece. But the 49ers' run game is just so good that Christian McCaffrey is, like, OP in that offense. But, like, Elijah Mitchell was doing solid, I think. And whoever else, they've had some running backs over the past couple seasons kind of just, be running backs and do their thing. And, like, next time they go to a new team, you never hear of them again. They've been able to do that with their system. And so... Christian McCaffrey in that is going to be insane. We've seen him last year. But Elijah Mitchell, don't sleep on him. Deebo Samuel is Deebo Samuel. Ray McLeod is out for this game. Shout out to Ray McLeod. We miss you, man. Brandon Ayuk, I think, is someone who is solid. Brandon Ayuk, I think, probably a bit more underrated receiver in the league right now. But I mean, this is fantasy speaking. As you guys can see, now that we're broaching in on fantasy, a lot of my knowledge and takes about people strictly come from fantasy. And granted, good or bad, we're not trying to be, the most serious, analytical Colin Cowherd person over here. I don't know why I said Colin Cowherd and serious, but like he pretends to be serious, I'm not pretending to be serious. Brandon Ayuk, I've seen him play some games. I've mostly encountered him on fantasy, whether it's facing him or having him on my team. I think he's solid. He always seems to put up solid numbers, especially when I'm facing him and I need him to get like less than 25 points on primetime football. This dude just has the game of his life all the time. I think Brandon Ayuk is solid. So, of course we got to watch Deebo Samuel. Of course we got to watch Kittle, who's questionable. But Brandon Ayuk, I think, is someone who, maybe is lined up against Levi Wallace, maybe lined up against Patrick Peterson. Maybe, just maybe, he gets the better of us. But we throw Joey Porter Jr. there, and then we put fucking Troy Polamalu. We get him back. We put him on Deebo. I think we got a chance. But as I mentioned, George Kittle. If you guys don't know George Kittle, he's more of like a blocking tight end, which can really help in the run game, given they got McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell, and they're even running Brock Purdy sometimes. They got Kittle, so we got to worry about him in the run game, but don't let him, creep open, because he is a threat to pass the ball. He is a threat to do things to your team. So you definitely want to pay attention to George Kittle. I also want to mention this because I kind of forgot. Brock Purdy ended up getting hurt in the NFC Championship, and that's where like all of the 49ers, man, we would have won the Super Bowl if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt. Like that's where that stems from. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. I don't want to get into it. But I do want to mention this is going to be Brock Purdy's first game coming back from injury, besides maybe the preseason. I don't know if he played in the preseason, though. But this is going to be his first, game that matters back from injury. Kyle Juszczyk is a beast. He's been in the league for a while. He used to be a Raven. I've seen this guy score many, many unwarranted touchdowns, many fucking 5-yard, goal line things. I've seen Kyle Juszczyk do it, so it is what it is. Trent Williams, I wish he was a Steeler. He's a dog. Now, I mean, the rest of the offensive line, I'm sure they got a great offensive line, but Trent Williams is really the guy on this line. Next, we look at their defense. Some people like Javon Hargrave, Javon Kinlaw. Hargrave used to be an Eagle. He used to be a Steeler, too. Hargrave used to be a Steeler, and then he went and got a big deal from Philly. We bet against Javon Hargrave. And Javon Hargrave, he made us pay. He was solid in Philly. However, at the time, it was, the Eagles overpaid for Javon Hargrave, and, they got great production out of him, so I don't think they overpaid. However, I think they overpaid and we couldn't afford to keep him. I think that is now going to fall with the 49ers. Now, they have a good enough defense. They have a good enough team. They're trying to win now that Javon Hargrave, if he wants to be a fantastic run-stopping, getting to the quarterback guy that he normally is, if he wants to do that again, go ahead and do it and, go us. However, I think they have enough pieces on defense that Javon Hargrave, even if they overpaid for him, even if he kind of falls off a little bit, I think their defense, their other pieces will be able to kind of bring it back up, And then once again, if it works out, then this defense just got, much, much better than it once was. Eric Armstead's still there. Nick Bosa's still there, but we'll talk about Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa might be out against the team, or against this in week 1. He is going through some contract things, so we'll see. Maybe we'll see some Clelin Ferrell. He was somebody in the XFL who I believe showed out, and maybe the Steelers could have signed. I know he was like a former high round pick, right? And then we ended up getting him back. I swear he was in like a different league, but he's a former high round pick, former first round pick in 2019. I believe he spent some time in the XFL / AFL / USFL, whatever it is. And now he's back, and so maybe we'll see some of him. He was kind of balling, so we'll see. Fred Warner right here. Fred Warner is a guy. Let me get a gunshot for Fred Warner. Fred Warner is a guy. Fred Warner wants to be a Steeler. Fred Warner, this is Zaya from Zaya&TheSteelers calling on the phone. Hopefully you have time to answer this. If not, I'll leave a voicemail. Fred Warner, if you want to come play for a real defense, if you're tired of getting so close to the Super Bowl but not winning it, pull up to Pittsburgh. We could really use a middle linebacker. Don't want to sleep on Cole Holcomb and a Layden Roberts like I've been doing, but Fred Warner is a dog. And Fred Warner, he needs to come to Pittsburgh, because we get Fred Warner, man, we're so in. We're so in. When did Fred Warner get picked? Were we even possible? Where's he? Third round pick. Third round pick in 2018. 2018 was who was 20? Chase Claypool? Is that the Chase Claypool draft? We didn't have our first 2018. Maybe that's that draft, but man, Fred Warner is a very good player. I really like him. Travarius Ward, he's solid. We got Troy Polamalu too. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name, but if you know, you know. This is Troy too. Also went to USC. Troy mentors him. He's pretty good, but he can't be Troy. So it is what it is. But we got to watch out for him. And really, I think that is as far as my on paper just name spotting alone. That's as far as my roster peeping goes for the 49ers. They have a solid team though. Once again, can we look at their past seasons maybe? We know, this is just kind of to catch people up. If you guys know, they were in the NFC Championship last year. They were close to the NFC Championship, I believe, the year before that. They're trying to get it done. This is the year. This is the year for the 49ers. If they can't get it done this year, all of their trades, all of their moves, all of their signings, all of their star players on defense and offense eventually is going to come to head. Eventually, you are going to have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Brock Purdy. Maybe he's a guy. Maybe you got to pay him. Eventually, having all these people, Trent Williams, George Kittle, Hargrave, Bosa, who's contract dispute right now, Dre Kinlaw, Fred Warner, Travarius Ward. Like eventually, having all these people is going to come to a head. Eventually, you're not going to be able to have all these people, and so you're going to have to get the job done now. You're going to have to get the job done early. And now, we'll see what happens, but I think they have to win now. I think either this season or next season is the last time that they get before this roster becomes pretty new. So if you guys remember, maybe 20, whatever the Legion of Boom was going on. So like maybe 2013, like Legion of Boom, Colin Kaepernick time, like around then, the 49ers, they even got to a Super Bowl at that point. But the 49ers, ignoring that Super Bowl, they were in the NFC Championship, they were in the playoffs, but they just kept losing. And then tank, something. Colin Kaepernick takes a knee, something. They were a horrible team for like the next 2-3 years, right? But then they just all of a sudden rose back up, and then they're back, and they've been back at this NFC Championship Super Bowl window for a while now. So if you think about it, if you just ignore maybe 2 or 3 seasons, the 49ers have been Super Bowl favorites since 2010 and haven't fucking gotten it done. So time is ticking. The clock is running out. But unfortunately, starting off against the Steelers week 1, that's going to be a rough thing for you because week 1 Steelers were like that. We're dogs. Kenny Pickett has something to prove. He's a dog. Brock Purdy is not that good. So, I think the 49ers on paper, of course, the 49ers have the chance to beat us. But all I'm going to say is I'm not sleeping on the Steelers. All I'm going to say is it could be close, and watch out for week 1 Steelers. And also, this is going to be something that expands more as the season goes on. I want to preface this with I am not Mr. Betting Man. I am not the gambling guy to go to. But I think, just doing this for fun, I kind of want to make parlays for the games, right? Like for the Steelers games. And like I said, it's so early that out of like people's yards, over-unders, like I don't think are available yet. However, for this one game, and until it happens, we are absolutely spamming the Deontay Johnson anytime touchdown. Deontay Johnson, whether it's week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whenever it happens, I will be ready. I am spamming Deontay Johnson anytime touchdown until it happens. The 49ers have a great defense, so this could be a Najee, Jaylen Warren touchdown. Fun fact, throughout this preseason, I wanted so bad to do the Jaylen Warren anytime touchdown, but it wouldn't let me because it's preseason. And now I feel like everybody's seen it. Now I feel like his odds are probably going to be higher than they were, and like everyone's going to be nailing it, and now we're not going to get the touchdown, So Jaylen Warren, someone I'm a big fan of as well, kind of look out for him. But really, until it happens, Deontay Johnson touchdown for the win. It's going to happen. It'll happen soon. We'll see how much money I end up wasting on this. But it's going to happen. And like I said, as the season goes on, as people's over-unders, kind of format, and I'm able to build larger kind of things, maybe we'll leave it at like 4 things max. But, like I could do like Deontay touchdown, Najee over-under rushing yards, blah, 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 blah. I don't think that's available yet. At least it wasn't last time I checked. If it is, apologies. But I'm not trying to get, into this gambling loophole here. So we're just going to leave it at a Deontay Johnson touchdown. If you guys would like to take that advice, do you. But, don't listen to me, please. That's what I'm doing, though. So it is what it is. As I mentioned before I leave this topic, Nick Bosa also maybe won't play. Shout out to this article from Ray Fittipaldo. I believe that's how you say that. Over on Post Gazette. This is something where if I keep scrolling down, they're going to prompt me with a, you got to pay for this to read this. So I'm going to be careful with the scrolling. But pretty much, Nick Bosa is a stud on defense. Nick Bosa is one of the better defensive players. And he wants a new contract. And as I mentioned with the 49ers roster, like they just got pieces everywhere. And so maybe they just don't have the direct number to pay for it right now. Maybe that's the case. Who knows? However, I will tell you, I will just, bit, some free advice from Zaya. I'm sure you guys know this. Nick Bosa, you make room for Nick Bosa. Like Javon Hargrave, no offense to Javon Hargrave, he's a dog. But if we're talking about we can't re-sign Nick Bosa because we re-signed Javon Hargrave, silly. we can't re-sign Javon Hargrave because Deebo Samuel and Deebo Samuel is a dog, and if we want to get into this, we can get into this. But yo, you can get yourself another receiver. We've seen these running backs too. You can go get another running back. You want someone to do both because Christian McCaffrey too. If you want someone to do both like Deebo Samuel, maybe you find that somewhere. But I'm just saying Nick Bosa is really, really good. And honestly, besides maybe like Fred Warner, because he's like a young piece. How old is Fred Warner? Fred Warner is only 26. Yeah, besides maybe Fred Warner, like I don't think you have another piece that's more important than Nick Bosa. And so you got to get that deal done, 49ers. Do what you got to do. Maybe wait a little bit. Maybe wait until after week 1 is over. However, we want to beat you with no asterisk. So how about you get the deal done? How about you care about your players? Remember Jimmy G, who did all that winning for you and you traded him. Remember Trey Lance, who you promised the world to and you traded him. Remember, how about you care about your fucking your players? How about that? How about you pay Nick Bosa what he's worth? Because if not, he'll come to the Steelers and we'll pay him what he's worth. Now, this next section of the podcast / video is going to be kind of long and in-depth. Maybe not long and in-depth, but if you're looking for just content in your face, maybe not the greatest part, but I have to respond to some of these comments. There's been comments everywhere. If you did leave a comment, I'm going to try to go through and respond to every single one of them, like saying that I responded in this video, and I'm going to timestamp it up so it's like you don't even have to watch that beginning portion, So I'm going to do that. And really, you guys can get some of my takes about these comments, see how I feel about what the community's saying. And then from there, from the comments, I'm going to see, kind of where we're at and set a new expectation, because my expectation is playoffs and a playoff win. After that is house money, After that, it's do you. But really, that's what I'm looking for. But let's see what Steelers Nation is thinking. So starting out, this is my most recent video 3 days ago. This Zach Peterson guy, I did want to mention Zach Peterson. He's commented on a bunch of my videos. This is in reference to the Big Ben versus Kendrick Green thing. I went a little hard on Big Ben. He compared me to a wife reacting about what's for dinner or something like that. I'll try to find the original comment, but this is like a follow-up. Shout out to Zach. Zach has been here for a while, so shout out to you. And maybe I was overreacting, and we all know Kendrick Green is ass. But, he was trying his best, and plus also, who roasts Big Ben besides me and like, I don't know, random Steelers player who don't play anymore. Like, it's either we love Big Ben or there's nothing at all. I feel like I got to be the guy. I'll die on the sword. This isn't therapy. We got mixed opinions here. And what Big Ben said about Kendrick Green when he was trying to make the team on his podcast was fucked up. So it is what it is. Dark Storm, I really hope Kendrick Green is starting for them week 4. Me too, man. Or girl. I would love for Kendrick Green to be starting against us, because we got Cam, we got Cam, we got Watt, we got Nick Herbig, we got Alex Highsmith, we got pieces, we got Keanu Benton. Our line is like that. If Kendrick Green is out there, it's either he's going to play horrible, right? Or Kendrick Green is literally going to have like the greatest game of all time. He's literally going to turn into fucking to I don't know, some elite center guard person, and we tweaked, We'll see. And then 2 major plays with Dotson. Both of Pickett's concussions last year came from Dotson missing a block right at the middle. I'd be wondering if y'all really watch. Do I really watch? Because in this video, I mentioned, not recognizing a play where Dotson maybe like super tweaked and we had to cut him, Hey, man, I be watching the games. I know Dotson had his moments. I just couldn't think of it at the time. I wasn't trying to say Dotson was like just shut down fucking guard. I didn't mean to say that. I know there was the Kenny Pickett interception concussion last year in the Baltimore game. That's a tweak. But when we look at our line, when we look at our old pieces, that one, the few Kevin Dotson plays versus Dan Moore consistently fucking up versus Trey Turner, even back then, Trey Turner we had to get rid of, versus even like, just the offensive linemen we have, like Kevin Dotson, like I wasn't just busting to get rid of, but he's not perfect either. And I didn't mean to even say he was perfect. So there's that. Now, if we go to this video right here, the flawless in the preseason, this one has some comments. I'm so ready for the season. I'm not trying to hear another person say it's preseason, but if we looked how we looked last year, it would be, yeah, we know they wouldn't be good. Facts. If we played bad against the Falcons, it would be a bunch of memes. If we played bad in this preseason, Matt Canada would be fired right now. If we played bad during this preseason, Colin Cowherd would get on his show and just fucking roast us. And so when we do good against third stringers, fuck it. I'm going to be happy about it. Like, go to hell. Love the analysis. Keep it up. Thank you. I like your style, sir, and you're right. Let Renegade play and lift number 7 to the sky. Super Bowl. In this video, I said I was joking, but yeah, fuck it. If we're rolling with the Super Bowl, we're rolling. I don't hear anything about how it was beneficial for the Falcons 2s and 3s to play first. Yo, that is so fire. That is so good. It was beneficial for the Falcons 2s and 3s to play first stringers. That is, yo, shout out to Purity 6. That is, you're right. I didn't even think about that. That is very beneficial. I'm a Steelers fan all the way and just tired of the backlash we get from that game. I was thankful to be able to watch the preseason via NFL Plus app of this. Okay. All right. Hey, man, Purity 6, yo, the Falcons, you guys lined up a team. We played the team, and we smashed your team. It is what it is. So shout out to Purity. Shout out to the NFL app. I remember I was trying to watch this, and that shit was tweaking for me. So hopefully it works better for you. You're funny. We're the exact same person. I look forward to your feeds and how you go about them. I'm definitely a fan. Sunglasses emoji. Fun fact, Hazardous Bay 2800. I am actually you. Like, this is you talking right now. This is you responding to the comment. You're me, I'm you. This is you right now. This is your video. Hazardous and the Steelers. Shout out. Tavon Carter. He is somebody who I believe came from TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he like found my YouTube channel and then went to my TikTok. However, from my TikTok posts and then posting onto YouTube, he's commented on a bunch of them. So shout out to Tavon. This is also more for like people who's commenting and like I've never written out the response to the comment. I promise I'm reading them. And Tavon, I know you've been commenting on a bunch. So shout out to you, the gunshots. He's a big gunshot guy. Let's get a gunshot for Tavon. Shout out to Tavon. And I'm funny as fuck. Let's get a gunshot for me being funny as fuck. And then who did we play against Buffalo? We did play the first stringers against Buffalo. I believe that's what Cole's alluding to. And then Purity, yo, he's doubling down. That is true. No one talks about how we dominated the starters against Buffalo. And two, no one is saying this. If we look like the Falcons' second and third stringers, we'd have a huge problem. Our first stringers played and treated them like they were second and third string. We should be happy with what we did. If it was a close game, we would have some real problems we would need to address. But that's not the case. Even if we played the starters, we still would have won regardless. Hell yeah, that's what I mean. To be honest, I couldn't have laid it out any better myself. You know, our first team offense is like that. Our Matt Canada is back. He's back from the dead. And, you know, we're here. We're here. Whether you play your first string, your last string, it doesn't matter because we're here. Now, the Steelers need to be taken more seriously. This video is almost at 5K. This is actually, thinking about, this might be my highest viewed video I've ever uploaded, low-key. So shout out to all you guys. But this one, 39 comments. This one has a fuck ton of comments, man. Ryan Warmack. I responded this one in a video. I even pinned it. But thank you once again. You're 53. It is a great time to be 53 because Kendrick Green is gone. Shout out to you. I'm excited as well. If we peep the reply here, the last time we were excited is 2009. Now I won't say that's the case. 104 likes too. Holy smokes. I won't say that's the case. I feel like with the Killer Bee era and like the late 2010s, is that how you say it? Late 2010s, mid 2010s. I think we've had some real chances then too. I think we had some things to be excited about. However, you know, it didn't end up working. And you know, the old Yinzers, I'm weak. If you look at the top, oh, you can't see it. I have like a YouTube search here. That's funny. But the old Yinzers, like maybe they spotted the AB thing, Le'Veon thing coming. Maybe, you know, they always knew we didn't have a defense, and so they knew we wouldn't have a chance. However, if you were like watching the games back then, if you were like alive and, you know, doing things as, you know, Ryan apparently was, if you were like just in the moment, you know, we were looked at as a top team. Now, whether we had things to be excited about personally as Steelers fans, as realistic Steelers fans, maybe we knew it wasn't going to happen. However, we were looked at as one of the top teams just a few years ago. So 2009 is a bit far away, but, you know, maybe this is the last time we've had a real chance to win. Who knows? This is my first time checking out your content, but you know what? I like the energy and realness, so I'm gonna subscribe and I'm gonna turn on notifications, man. Keep up the great work. Yo, Steel Dad, shout out to you. Shout out to the dads. Shout out to Father's Day. Thank you for the subscription. And yes, we're gonna be dominant this year. I think we're gonna be one of the top 16s in the league and on both sides of the ball, and we are definitely gonna make some noise in the playoffs. Everyone is sleeping on the Steelers except for Steeler Nation, but that's fine. We love being the underdogs anyway. That's who we are. Shout out to the Steel City. Facts. We are underdogs. I definitely think I definitely think we're getting more attention now. I definitely think maybe even too much. Maybe even we got people like hot taking us to go to the Super Bowl on ESPN. Like I don't really like that. But you know, we're on the rise, and you know, we can keep it quiet, we can keep it loud, whatever we got to do. Either way, we're here. The Steelers are here, man. The commentator said it was only 5 seconds on that second drive. We've never had more than 14 plus in our first few games in last season, but damn. That I believe this is in reference. Yeah, this is the Bills game. So the first drive we get a touchdown. from Jalen Warren, and then Calvin Austin sets us up beautifully, and then we get this pass, and then Kenny, if I would just stop pausing it, it's paused. But Kenny throws a touchdown from right here. So I swear to God, Kenny throws a touchdown from right here. And so for us to get 14 points in less than however long of time that was, I think he said 5 seconds, second drive, like that's crazy for us to only to have 14 points there. If you guys have been watching, points have been so hard to come by. So we're lit. We're elite. So shout out to Pretty Cure Forever. People will back off Canada if he gives us a reason to back off. Let me get a gunshot for that. That is true. I have backed off Canada for now. Canada is on, the bench or whatever. Canada is the third string. He's chilling right now. Matt Canada is out of sight, out of mind. However, in a week when we play the 49ers, and if we're looking like ass, we're coming back with a vengeance. We're coming back like we never left. Matt Canada, don't make me have to spin the block again. Don't make me have to write your name down in the death note again. The firing death note, that is an anime reference, but not the actual death note before we get clapped. That was an anime reference, but you know what I mean. Don't make me have to write your name down, man. I'm tired of it. So offense, if we just keep cooking, if we just keep fucking doing our thing, Matt Canada, you can chill and we'll back off. I think we'll back off. I haven't heard anything about Matt Canada. We'll back off. The Steelers are going to the Super Bowl straight like that. Hell yeah, user. We are going to the Super Bowl. Most of the analysis I watch in the national media have picked the Steelers to win 10 games and make the playoffs. In recent years, the Steelers have fallen below expectations. Remember the Killer Bees. But I hope it doesn't... What? Below expectations. I think this guy's getting cooked. How long is Tomlin Lawyer? Okay, yeah, I think my guys are getting this person. To be honest, I'm not going to go too hard in the reading of this whole thread. But just off this comment alone, recent years have fallen below expectations. In recent years, the Steelers have fallen below expectations. Now, I don't think that's true. I think that is a falsification. Last season, there is no way we fell below expectations. Maybe at the beginning of the season, but when we finished the season, I believe we were at expectations. 2019, 2021, whatever. Ben's last year, the year before last year, everybody was retiring Ben. Everybody was saying we were ass, and we still finished with about 8 wins. The year before that, we were undefeated, and I don't think that was seen as coming. However, we lost early, but we were undefeated and made the playoffs in the preseason. I don't know if we were picked to do that. And then the year Ben gets hurt, that was like maybe a time where we kind of fell below expectations, but Ben was hurt. But maybe because like we're losing AB, we're losing Le'Veon, and like all the commentators are like, yeah, the Steelers are gonna come back with a vengeance, And then Ben gets hurt. Maybe okay, we fall below expectations then, but. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. I don't know if I need to get that off. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. Ever. Not once. What does that mean? I don't fucking know. But I think everybody keeps mocking us to have these losing seasons. Everybody keeps saying, yeah, the Steelers are finally going to have a losing season. And then we don't. And so I feel like that's rising above expectations. No? Is it not? I don't know. Let's see what the comments say. How long has Tomlin been the coach? There comes a time when the coach... Oh, man, this guy's... when the coach can't win the big game and changes have to be made. Look at it this way. If Pittsburgh made the playoffs and got blown out in the playoffs, isn't that worse than no playoffs? Because Pittsburgh would have been exposed and all the other teams would have a blueprint to beat the Steelers. All right. Listen, Brian White 3428. What the hell are you talking about, bro? What are you talking? I get we haven't won a playoff game in a while, and this is what I mean. This is why I literally had to start my channel. This is literally why I had to make videos. Because, fam, what does that have to do with Kenny Pickett, Jalen Warren, Naj, our line and our defense coming out flying right now? Like, the past is the past. We win games, we lose games. Tomlin does have a Super Bowl. We win games, we lose games. It happens. But for this moment right now, we don't have to be talking about the blueprint to beat the Steelers. I don't think the Browns found the blueprint to beat the Steelers in that blowout win. I think they found the blueprint into how to get a center's gloves to get him to snap the ball bad. I think they found the blueprint for that. But as far as, now teams have the blueprint to beat the Steelers, listen, the Patriots have had that for 60 years. The Patriots have had that since we were this elite dominant team, the team that everybody loved with James and Troy Polamalu. Like, we were losing to the Patriots then too. Granted, we had the season where Brady was hurt and we ended up beating them. But more recently, I feel like the Patriots have had the blueprint. Listen, I mean, I don't know. Eventually, yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of Tomlin if we can't get it done. But just random, we got to get rid of Tomlin on a video that's talking about the Steelers being needed to take it more seriously. Look at this context. Look at this context for Brian White. So maybe this comment is leads to it, but Brian White just randomly is commenting this on a game where we absolutely shredded the Bills, and like he's just thinking about firing Mike Tomlin still. Like, this is what I mean. What are we talking about? They have just started saying that they're a little late. They've just started saying that they're okay. He's talking about okay. So this is in reference to us winning 10 games. So they're saying that now, given the preseason context, a little late. What do you mean? Everyone I saw don't have Pittsburgh going to the playoffs. They got us third to last in our division. This is what I'm saying. That sounds about right. Yeah, their Killer B was an old decrypted team. Wasn't the Killer B in their primes. Maybe Big Ben was, but Brown and Bell were considered top 3 at their position. Regardless, the Steelers were expected to win the Super Bowl when all 3 were healthy, and they win a Super. What? Okay, maybe I'm reading this wrong. I don't know. You got Brian White and Mike Johnson, bunch of numbers in your usernames. You guys continue to have this discussion and let me know what comes from it. 12-5 this year. I've been saying it all summer. All summer 12-5. 12-5. Hell yeah. This comment right here, I actually responded to this comment. Just a technical comment. That Shure mic, this mic right here, this Shure mic, as it's like falling below. I'm sorry if I've been quiet, as I'm reading this comment. But this Shure mic is not a directional mic. A lot of volume and you're leaning back and forth on the mic. If that's your thing, cool. Enjoyed my first visit and your energy. Listen, Mint Dragon, if you're still here, thank you. However, I do not believe you're still here. However, I do not believe you're still around. I think this was a comment like, yo, this guy, his mic, you're sounding crazy right now. Let me leave this comment for him. Enjoyed your energy though, like, cool smiley face, and then they're leaving that and dipping. I do appreciate it though. I will do my best to not bounce around and stuff. I gotta get this is USB plugged in right now, and I can get like I can't think of the name, but like it's the piece that goes into an audio interface and not directly into the computer. I want to get that eventually. I've just been kind of sleeping on it, but who knows? If I'm getting comments like this, maybe I got to get into that. However, Mint Dragon, prove me wrong. Hopefully you didn't just try to like clean it up at the end there. That's what I'm thinking. You tried to clean it up. But I appreciate it. I will get better. They do, but right now I'd rather be a sleeper. That is, okay, yeah, the Steelers need to be taken more seriously. They do. But right now I'd rather just be a sleeper. Me too. I think I'd like to think of it like Will Smith would. Just sub the word team for wife. What? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. The defense. Oh, Brian White, look. Brian White, we caught him. Yo, I forgot about this. Okay, so Brian White just hating on Tomlin. This stemmed from something. The defense sucks in preseason means nothing. You did not watch the game. Second team played good against starters and looked great, sir. You have no idea what you're talking about. And I responded this a while ago. I was talking to him, yo. Yep, and I wasn't that impressed. I would be concerned with the defense. At least I'm not crapping my pants over a meaningless game and saying the Steelers are Super Bowl material. If anything, you're pretty sad, dude. Do you know what a scrimmage is? And the Bills were able to move against the Pittsburgh defense. The fact it was 11 versus 12 thanks to the officials, bro. We're talking about a week 2 preseason game. And he's talking about the officials, bruh. And the QB for Buffalo was hoisted on the Pittsburgh shoulder. Again, okay, I don't know what he's saying. Here we go again. Guys, I'm sure they got him. They got him, guys. They got him. We don't need to worry about this. Brian White, why are you hating on the Steelers, man? Are you a Steelers fan? Come on. Why are we hating? Why are we talking about the officials in a preseason game when we smoked the Bills, man? Come on, what are we doing? Looking at a different video, we got some more comments here. This is about Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. This person, Mr. Paul Fizzle, says number 30 is very good. Number 22 is mid at best. I probably shouldn't have given that a shameless gunshot from me. I'm going to close my mouth. I am going to just chill and rock out. However, if there is a time where number 30 is looked upon more heavily, where if there's ever a time where number 30 is the lead back, is the lead ball carrier, just know I will be very animated about it. I don't want to start anything though. I don't want to say anything too crazy yet. But I'm a big fan of Jaylen Warren, and I like Najee too. However, I just got to go with what I see actually happens when they both have a chance to run the ball. When they both have a chance to run the ball, we will save this take for later time. Steelers Nation Australia. Cheers, Zaya. Thanks for coming by and saying what's up. Here we go. What's up, Steelers Nation Australia? Steelers Nation Australia is somebody who has commented on some videos before. Shout out to him. I actually went to his page too. I think that's where this came from. But shout out to him. I like this. We want more. We want more. Hell yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep that hypeness. Steelers for life. Hell yeah. Now, I believe I've already been to this one. I do want to finish it out with wait. No, I've already checked this one. Did this one we check? Did we check this one? Like I said, there's been. Oh, this is the one I was looking for. Okay, and then this is also Zach Peterson's first comment. Yeah, Ben is being insulting to some degree, but you're putting as much malicious hidden meaning in his words as my wife does when I ask what we're doing for dinner. That is what I was doing with Big Ben's comments. I'm not gonna run it back. However, man, it was fucked up what Ben said. I'm standing on it. It was fucked up. It's still fucked up. Okay, here we go. This is the one that I wanted to comment because I've kind of double backed on this one already. I've kind of already taken this back. But LT4564 has also commented on some other videos. Mason is not beating nobody. Trust me. And there's definitely no QB2 competition because of it. Mason's been here over half a decade and hasn't showed anything. You went a little Mason crazy for someone that has connections with receivers versus a quarterback that didn't in Mitch. All Mason did was throw a ball to the fastest man on the field against third and fourth string. A lot of caps lock here against third and fourth stringers. Mitch only threw the ball literally 4 times, and now all of a sudden Mason is winning. Come on, man. All right, so there's a lot there. Let's hit a gunshot. There's a lot there. I'm gonna say my piece. Mason threw one deep pass to Calvin Austin, and I've been trying to trade Mason for 4 fucking seasons now, and nobody's trying to listen. Every time I try to trade Mason, it's Mason's ass. We can't get anything for him. But Kendrick Green just got traded for a 6th round pick, mind you, okay? And so when Mason Rudolph, when he's coming out throwing a bomb to Calvin Austin somewhere, is this the bomb? If this is the bomb, I'm so elite. If this does 3rd and 31, he's throwing a bomb to Calvin Austin. And from what I've seen, from what I've read, was Mason was looking at the time of this video, was looking a little better than Mitch. Now, we know Mitch is getting a lot of money, and so Mason wouldn't start over him. We know that. However, like I said, I've been trying to trade Mason, and when Mitch comes in and plays, he's garbage. When Mason comes in and plays, he's garbage. I'm not turning this into a discussion of Mason versus Mitch. Can we not do this, LT, me and you? Can we not do this versus Mason versus Mitch? However, I will say I caught you in a lie. I will say you lied a bit on this comment, and you caps locked to you lied a bit. So, Mason's been here for over half a decade. That statement alone probably is right. I believe 2018 when he was drafted, a little less than that. But, all right. Half a decade, maybe that's right. Okay, Mason's been here half a decade and hasn't showed anything. You're right about that. You went a little Mason crazy for someone that had... Little Mason crazy to me is crazy. I don't think I went Mason crazy. I was just hyping him up, trying to get another team to trade for him. I'll do my job, guys. I'm trying. But here we got comments like this. Let's keep Mason on the team doing nothing. Cool. So I went a little Mason crazy for someone that has connections with receivers versus a QB that didn't in Mitch. I believe there should be a period there. There should be a period in there. This right here is the sentence I want to cook on. This right here is where I activate my trap card because Mason Rudolph, the last time he played for us was when Juju was on the team, but started for us. Was when Juju was on the team, when Chase Claypool was on the team, when fucking James Washington was on the team. We're talking about a while ago. Last season, I don't know if you remember this, LT4564, but last season, Mitchell Trubisky was the starter. Last season, Mitchell Trubisky played about 3 to 4 games with the Steelers, and the connections. He made the connections with receivers. The same George Pickens, the same Deontay Johnson, the same Calvin Austin, who maybe Mason was thrown to because Calvin Austin wasn't a listed starter. Those same people, Calvin Austin, we'll just name him just because. Fucking Steven Sims, who's not on the team anymore, Mitch was thrown to. Ray McLeod, no, I don't think he was there. But you know what I mean? This is a lie. It's literally a lie. Mitch has thrown to our receivers way more than Mason does. The only thing is maybe the 2019 season where Mason played in Deontay his rookie year. That is it. Because past that, we have all new players. This is literally a fresh batch. And Mitchell Trubisky right now, if we look at actual passes that count, actual passes that matter, Mason versus Mitch in passes to receivers we currently have on the team, Mitch probably bodies Mason in that department. Mitch probably has thrown way more passes to George Pickens and Deontay, first string one. Maybe not Deontay because we have that 2019 season where Ben was hurt. But everybody else, Mitch has been the starter. And on top of that, Mitch has been the listed QB2, meaning the people like the Calvin Austins, who maybe fringe starter, definitely second string guys, those guys, Mitch has been thrown to them all camp. Mason's thrown to fucking Hakeem Butler and Des Fitzpatrick. Those are the people he's throwing to. So when we talk about this, I just think it was a lie. Like, if we're talking about in practice connections with receivers, like in training camp, if that's what he means with connections versus receivers, maybe he's got me. But this Mitch was the starter for us last year. Mason wasn't even activated. Mason wasn't even allowed to play last year. And so all of that to say, I'm not trying to die on this Mason Rudolph hill. If you think I'm dying on the Mason Rudolph hill, go ahead and jump off the hill yourself, because I'm hanging on to the hill. However, that deep pass was fire, and Mitchell Trubisky, because of the context of he has to start for the first 3 weeks of the season, he lost a bunch of games, then he came in against Baltimore and lost us that game, and we ended up not making the playoffs, and so I really don't want to see Mitch play anymore. If we take that into account, Mason throwing that deep ball, why the fuck not when we keep Mason, Mason's way cheaper. Mason probably is worse, but worse than Mitchell Trubisky. Like, what's the difference? A magnifying glass. What's the difference between Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, and Duck Hodges? Nothing. To me. And if you want to Mitchell Trubisky is so much better than Mason Rudolph, congratulations. Either way, it doesn't fucking matter. And either way, y'all are sleeping on Mason Rudolph, man. Y'all are sleeping. Y'all are sleeping on Mason Rudolph, man. I am going Mason crazy. Listen, if you're an opposing NFL team out there and you need a quarterback, call my phone, because I got a quarterback for you with just the low price of 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a second-round pick. We can swap them, though, worse for worse. So we'll give you our second-round pick. You give us, we can swap those. But if that is a deal you are ready to make, if that is a deal you want to make, call me and we can get it done. Shit, we can do it. We can do it for a second-round pick. That's it. We can do it for a third-round pick. That's it. We can do it for a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. One of them, just one, anything, something, please. Because if Mitch is still there, Mason is never going to get his chance, because Mitch is clearly outplaying Mason. And so Mason, he needs an opportunity. New England, you guys need a backup. Come get Mason. Gosh darn it. Mason Rudolph, I've fought for you. I've tried for you, man. Who knows? People just hate you, Mason. I'm sorry. Overall, I think, judging by the comments, there's a few people who are kind of sleeping. There's a few people who are maybe a little shaky about having us go to the Super Bowl. But for the most part, it seems like we're all excited. It seems like we're all hype. If we even look, we got this is a fake undisputed clip right here. We got Skip Bayless and Mason Rudolph on this thumbnail. This is insane. Big Ben even in this. If we just, shout out to our sports show. That's insane. But if we just take the consensus from the Steelers Nation, I think we're all pretty positive. And I think the standard remains playoff win. And after that, if we want to win more, go ahead. But we're pretty hype. And if we fall below that, like I forget the comment, but the guy said we keep falling below expectations. If we fall below that, then hopefully we find some things to work from there. But I think we're here. I think we're ready. And shout out to all you guys for the comments. Shout out to all Steelers Nation. I know we're all excited. I will do better at responding to these in a more timely manner, or maybe I save them for kind of long sessions like this. Let me know what you want to do. But next, as I mentioned, I want to do a mock draft. And as you can see right here, this is a beginner 10-team head-to-head. I really didn't mean to get the beginner. If you watch the Ascent Sports video, that's actually where that thumbnail comes from, Fantasy Draft Practice. If you watch that video, we did it in, I believe, pro head-to-head. It was the same format, though, 10 teams. So I gotta wait this out for a minute, but we're gonna get into this. And yeah, don't judge the beginner thing. That's what I feel bad, but it's so, if you guys have done these mock drafts, it's kind of hard to get in a lobby. Just ignore this beginner thing. We're really not. It's all about my draft, not everybody else's. I am at the 4th pick. I do see a few auto picks in here. Hopefully they get that addressed. However, at number 4, Justin Jefferson probably won't be there, but we'll put him on the queue anyway. Really, number 4, if we can get Christian McCaffrey, I'd be pretty hype about that. I got Kelsey in a different video, so maybe I'll keep him here just because. Tyreek Hill as well, maybe someone I can look at. Bijan Robinson, I've heard a lot of things about him. However, I'm not sure if I'm ready to risk my first overall pick on him. But if it falls that way, maybe we got to take him. We see Saquon and Derrick Henry as well down here. Going to be interesting. Number 1 is probably going to be Justin Jefferson. If not, then maybe Jamar Chase, maybe CMC. We will see. Bars, the draft is started. Team Thomas is on the clock. Let's see who he's going to take. Team Thomas, please take somebody. Are we going to use the whole 20 seconds every time? I really hope you don't do this, Team Thomas. It seems like he's going to do this right to my video. There we go. He take Austin Eckler, first overall pick. Justin Jefferson, number 2. Number 3 will be either Jamar Chase, probably McCaffrey. Do I take Jamar Chase on a Zaya and the Steelers video? Do I take Jamar Chase 4th overall if I can? I think if he falls, you kind of have to, you know? No Joe Burrow at the beginning of the season either. I feel like you kind of have to take Jamar Chase here, though. We'll see. Team D, who is he gonna take? If he doesn't go Jamar, I think I'm gonna go McCaffrey, and just hope. He went Travis Kelce, number 3 overall. Ladies and gentlemen, Zaya and the Steelers, we got to do it. We're drafting Jamar Chase. I'm sorry, I had to do it. We're up next. I'm looking at Nick Chubb here. Although Jamar Chase, Nick Chubb for Zaya and the Steelers, that would be a little sus. Amon-Ra St. Brown and A.J. Brown are also some people I'm looking at. But the running backs, like I fell in the same position in a different mock draft. Like I have to go Nick Chubb here. I have to go Nick Chubb here, guys. So I'm going Nick Chubb and Jamar Chase on a Zay and the Steelers video, man. They're unbelievable, but I had to. We pick relatively close again, so maybe we can still get one of these. If we can get T. Higgins, we get both Jamar and T. Higgins. That would be something. I think I'm gonna avoid that though, just because Steelers. But that could be something. But as far as my next pick, either Metcalf, who just went? DK Metcalf just went, and so I'm up. It's between Jalen Waddle and T. Higgins. Who finished better? What did T. Higgins finish? T. Higgins finished 19. Jalen Waddle finished 8. He's questionable though, and is a fringe wide receiver 1. You know what? For to beat the allegations, to beat the I hate the Steelers allegations, we're gonna go Jalen Waddle with this next pick. We're gonna go Jalen Waddle. I see Najee down here. I see Jahmyr Gibbs. However, I'm gonna just wait it out. And I'm gonna hope that maybe I can get another one of these running backs down here. We still got like Amari down here, Christian Watson, DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe I reached a little bit. We'll see. So I'm seeing Kenneth Walker the third down here. And honestly, I wouldn't be the maddest at getting him. Maybe even Alexander Madison too. I wouldn't be the maddest at getting him. Amari Cooper goes. So we look up here. We still got a chance to get Deebo Samuel. What did you finish last? 37. Weren't you hurt though? I feel like he was hurt last year. Can I show more? Show more. Okay, so yeah, he was kind of hurt last year, but when he played, relatively consistent. Keenan Allen is also up here. How did he finish? 42 last year. All right, I think I'm gonna get Deebo Samuel. I'm gonna get Deebo Samuel. Add it to my weapons. We got Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Deebo Samuel, and Nick Chubb. If we can now, if one of these running backs down here, let me go all position running back. Kenneth Walker. If Kenneth Walker can just fall here, I would be very happy with that. If he doesn't fall, maybe we can look at like Justin Fields. Maybe we can look at Herbert, Lamar, maybe even. But we are Zay and the Steelers, so maybe we'll avoid Lamar. Tight ends. Look at tight ends. It's going to be a while before I pick next, and so I really think I'm going to have to take one of these running backs here. We could do the Jonathan Taylor cheese as well. However, I did this in another video, and I don't necessarily want to do this again with this one and get Jonathan Taylor. But he is somebody who maybe you get, and then maybe can end up being like a starting running back for you. So I think I'll avoid him for now. Oh my gosh, Kenneth Walker went one pick before me, bruh. Fuck me. All right, so now to reevaluate, do we just sell out for like Alexander Madison now? It's going to be a while before I pick again. I don't know if Justin Fields necessarily will survive. You know what? We're going to get Justin Fields. We're going to draft Justin Fields now, and we'll see who lasts. But we're going to take Justin Fields now. We're still on this RB2 thing. They've taken Alexander Madison. They've taken James Cook. They've taken Kenneth Walker III. Really, I'm in the position here of having to just take one, just because. Although I pick still kind of soon. You know what? We're reaching all the way down here. We're gonna get George Kittle. We're gonna get George Kittle and wait it out, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna wait it out. Miles Sanders goes next. Oh man, this is tough. And we are back. I think Cam Akers is someone who I really necessarily don't want to draft given everything that's coming out with him, or that's come out with him. What did he finish last year? 35. What did he get in games? Not the fucking most encouraging, but we are in this position. We put ourselves here, ladies and gentlemen. Cam Akers Welcome to the team. Okay, and I am up again. And honestly, we have most of our team filled out. We just still need defense and kicker to start. However, given the circumstances of having to take Cam Akers, we're gonna risk it for the biscuit here. There's Dalvin Cook and J.K. Dobbins. You know what? Maybe big brain move. Fuck that. He's a Raven. I'm taking Dalvin Cook. I was gonna take J.K. Dobbins, but I don't know. Just because of the Ravens thing, I didn't want to take him. But he definitely could have been someone I looked at. But we got Dalvin Cook up next, and I don't pick again for a while. I'm seeing Jordan Addison down here. I'm a big Jordan Addison guy, pick guy, even though he kind of snaked us. I'm seeing him down here. I don't necessarily want to reach for him this far down here. When you look at Michael Pittman, George Pickens, I mean, Pickens, you know what? We're a Steelers video. We're making the Steelers video. George Pickens, welcome to the team. We got to get George Pickens. We're going to go with the Philly boy, DeAndre Swift, and now the rest of this is probably going to be depth pieces / defense and kicker. But as far as like offensive weapons, I think we did a good thing. We got Cook, we got Swift, we got Akers, we got Chubb. Between Akers, Cook, and Swift, one of you guys has to make a move. One of you guys has to be my RB2. And I think that's a good group for one of them at least to stick out. Just one. Oh, we're up again, and Jordan Addison did fall. Just because of how many receivers I have, I'm not going to take him. But Jordan Addison falling here could be huge potentially for anybody else. However, we could get the quarterback. By situation address. Also, Dalton Schultz. I'm going to skip all the way down here, and I'm going to get Dalton Schultz. Maybe he kind of falls off a bit, but I feel like last year he was a solid fantasy tight end, number 10. Maybe I should have gotten like a Kirk or Daniel Jones for backup quarterback. Zay Flowers here also. But I like it. I like the pick. Kind of. Did we already get a back? We didn't get a backup quarterback. I'm going to get Anthony Richardson here and just hope like between him and Fields, one of them is going to be like the fantasy demon. I'm going to take Anthony Richardson. Please, Jaylen Warren. Let's go. Jaylen Warren falls to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaylen Warren, welcome to the Steelers. We got Jaylen Warren. I had to. All right, now this last one, I believe, let's see, I got two tight ends. I got a bunch of running backs, a bunch of wide receivers. I got a backup quarterback. I could get a backup defense here, but I'm kind of just going to go like just best player available here. And really, we started out with Jamar Chase. I think we're going to finish the skill positions with Tyler Boyd. Hell yeah. Shout out to Tyler Boyd. Man, Kadarius Toney too. Fuck that. We're taking Toney. We're taking Toney instead. Maybe spooky there, maybe a wrong choice, but we're taking Toney. And then our last pick of this draft, if they let me get it, we're going to get the boy. We're going to get the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Boswell. They do. Okay, so they show the boxy thing. So starting it out, we got Jamar Chase, Nick Chubb, Jalen Waddle, Deebo Samuel. That right there, like the weaponry is weaponry in right here. I think that is Jalen Waddle, behind Tyreek is a little sus, but he gets a bunch of points. And then Deebo Samuel, I really think he'll have a big year if he stays healthy, if everybody stays healthy. Jamar Chase, is Jamar Chase. Then Nick Chubb, good thing I did take him here because we saw how the rounds went for me. I had to take Nick Chubb, but I think he'll be a solid back. And then quarterback, we got Justin Fields, tight end George Kittle, Cam Akers, Dalvin Cook and Cam Akers. Dalvin Cook, Cam Akers, and DeAndre Swift and Jaylen Warren. One of you guys, just one, please, just be RB2. Jaylen Warren, I don't think as of now I can start him at that RB2 position, but maybe as the season develops, maybe he gets to there, but we'll see. I mentioned George Kittle, but he's a dog. George Pickens, I think with the connection between him and Kenny, if our offense improves, this could be a very good pick right here. Maybe even trade bait because we have Jamar, Jalen, and Deebo, but maybe he'll overtake one of them. Who knows? But definitely a solid pick there. I mentioned DeAndre Swift. Dalton Schultz was a solid tight end. Kind of, maybe I took him a little early or Kittle a little early given I needed more running backs. But it is what it is, and I think both of them are going to be solid. And if not, maybe if Schultz is good enough, Kittle kind of is sus in fantasy sometimes. Maybe if Dalton is good enough, we insert him, and then Kittle. Kittle, like we kind of trade him off the name alone, and maybe we can get something for him. Cowboys defense, I think, is a solid defense. And then Anthony Richardson, Kadarius Toney, Chris Boswell. Anthony Richardson maybe could be the Justin Fields this fantasy year that Justin Fields was last year. But we got them both. So one of you guys has to be the Justin Fields of last year. And then Kadarius Toney, I feel like he showed out in the Super Bowl. When he plays, he's a solid piece. Now there is some kind of issues. He doesn't necessarily play the most games, whether it's due to injury, whether it's due to whatever reasons. But for a late round pick, could potentially be something, especially in that Chiefs offense. I think it was a solid pick. And then Chris Boswell, we had to get the Steeler, big Chris Boswell. We got Chris Boswell, we got Jalen Warren, and we got George Pickens. So we got the most Steelers on the team. 3 Steelers, 1 Bengal, 1 Brown, and I believe that's it for the divisional rivals it is. So we got 3 Steelers, 1 Bengal, 1 Brown. The Ravens did not have any draftable players as far as my fantasy draft goes. That means they stink. Last place in the AFC North. We'll see. But I like my team, man. Let me know what you guys think of my team. Let me know if maybe you saw some players I should have taken over some other players. But overall, solid roster. This is just a mock draft, so as soon as I hit that X, I'm going to lose it, and this team is going to be gone. But as I mentioned, tomorrow is actually a draft for one of the leagues I play in. I've played in for the past maybe 3 years, and I haven't had the greatest of success in that league. So I'm gonna bring that team to this channel, and I'm gonna kind of go over that team. It'll be videos kind of on my fantasy team, and those will be sprinkled throughout the year. But shout out to the fantasy football season. Good luck to everybody out there drafting, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you want more fantasy content. It's not just the Steelers, it's the whole NFL in general, but I love playing fantasy, so let me know. And as far as the actual episode goes, I really think, something to end on. I really think that's going to do it for this episode. We started it off, we talked about the 49ers. We responded to some comments. We did a fantasy draft. This is going to be a lot of my last things to say on the podcast format before the actual season starts. I'm excited. I definitely am excited. I would love a week 1 win. I would love to get on here next week and just be the hypest, to have the drinks going and all that victory. I would love to be able to do that. I would also love, just content wise, I would also love if we just stunk it up and Matt Canada laid an egg and our offense looked like shit. Because if that happens, that means I can come out here very animated. I can come on here very emotional, and I can just yell. And those videos, typically, they do well. Some people get mad at me for yelling, but I like yelling into the mic. So we will see how that goes. I'm predicting, fuck it. I'm predicting a win. I think we'll win. And if not, the 49ers are the preseason favorites anyway, and we're just the underdog team that everybody sleeps on. So even if they win, it's business as usual. We still stayed the course. However, I think we got a real chance. Big week 1 Steelers. I think we'll carry it. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this podcast episode. This one's definitely running the length of it all. So if you're here still to this point, thank you for watching the entire video. Thank you everybody who tuned in, even if you didn't watch the whole video. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, ring the bell. We are so close. This is my last outro before the season. Hit the like button, subscribe. I already said that. This has been Zaya from Zaya&TheSteelers. Good luck, Steelers. Good luck to everybody in your fantasy leagues, and good luck to all of your personal favorite teams. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.